Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Xu, or you can call me Jessica. I am from Shanghai, China. Here for me, it's the first time to upload some videos on YouTube. So if you are interested in what I'm going to say, you can just follow me. The reason for me why I'm here in YouTube is because of my personal interest. I have been studied international marketing and e-commerce as my major, and later I have some working experiences in e-commerce, online travel agencies. Now I'm working for a social media buyer company. So almost you can say all my experiences are in these fields. That's the main reason. And secondly, I noticed that when I studied in the UK, the culture and the difference between the Western and the Chinese industries are very different. I can give you an example of the culture. If you go to the metro in London, people are still reading books or newspapers. Some of them are using their phones. While in China, in Shanghai, if you go to metro in peak time, people use the phone mostly. And some of them are using WeChat to chat. Some of them are watching videos on TikTok. Some of them are reading online novels. It's very different. So I'm here. I try to record myself, and I also want to share the difference between. I also want to share the difference to all of you. From my channel, I'm going to share a lot of interesting parts of the Chinese internet industry and the digital marketing, how the brands they play, how they use the channels and KOLs to promote their products. And secondly is that I really want to find a place to record myself. I'm not very good at writing, so maybe recording is the best way for me to record myself. From the video, I think there must be a lot of different ideas in different words. You can just leave a message to me. We can communicate, and it will bring more thoughts to improve myself. And there are some limitations for my channel, as although I'm very interested in the industries, I have some working experiences in it, and but it cannot represent how the truth is. I'm only sharing my ideas and what I know, or how the main media, how they say. But I'm still a user and an observer. So this is one of the limitations. And secondly is that I have left the UK for a very long time, and I have never ever used English in my working environment. So sometimes I cannot communicate myself very well in English. I want to improve, but still there will be some time. Okay, let's get started with the first topic, that is Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is China's largest chain coffee brand, and in 2019, I remember the numbers of the stores have already reached more than 4,500. Number grows very quickly, and it was launched in 2017 or 18, and it went to IPO in 2019. So it's only 2 to 3 years it finished a whole process. It is the fastest developing company in the world. But these days, Luckin Coffee is not that kind of lucky. A very famous research company called Muddy Water reveals that the company has made financial frauds for 2.2 billion yuan. That is a very big number. If I have this kind of money, I do not need to work anymore. The shares of the company promptly fell by 85% of the stock market. You can imagine how the money fly. So maybe you guys will start be interested why this company grows so fast in the 2 to 3 years from its launch to IPO. So I'm going to talk about it. I think there are a lot of key elements that lead to the success of this company. Firstly, is that it targets quite well. I mean, its positioning and targeting. From the positioning, Luckin Coffee actually goes to the coffee chain brand market. Before Luckin Coffee, I can only remember one brand, which is Starbucks. Although there are other brands as well, like in the UK we had Costa, but here in China Costa was not that kind of popular. So actually for the coffee ranking list, you can say only Starbucks were there. But now there were two companies, Luckin and Starbucks. They are like quite rivals. And for the target, take Starbucks as an example. Starbucks, the coffee is usually around 30 to 40 yuan, but the price of the Luckin coffee is around 5 to 15 yuan. Almost, you can say it's half price. The Starbucks targets the more like well-paid person, and for the Luckin coffee, targets a lot of people who cannot afford Starbucks very frequently. And I think one more thing is that about the market. If you know about China is the biggest market of tea. People have the habit of drinking tea a lot, but for coffee, it's still like kind of on the way. Even though Starbucks is very popular in first-tier cities like Shanghai or Beijing, but for a lot of cities, coffee is still like Starbucks is still something that they don't know or they have no idea. So Luckin Coffee targets these kind of markets which have a lot of big potential that have been proved. So here it's targeting and positioning strategy. As the so-called right positioning and targeting, a lot of money comes in. I think Luckin Coffee has got a lot of A round and B round financing. They use the money back to the Chinese users on advertising and marketing, and this is very key to occupy the Chinese market. The CMO of the Luckin Coffee has launched a book in 2018 or 19, says how it occupies the market through advertising. Here are some of the ways of him to do it. Like for example, as I mentioned, the price of the Luckin Coffee is very cheap, and actually the price is not fixed. It has I think a very statistical CRM system. For example, if I am the first time user to go to the Luckin Coffee, I will be treated with free coffee. And next time when I visit the shop, maybe in one week later, I will get 7% off the coupon. So when the third time I go to the shop, I only get 50% off the coupon. So as you can see, the CRM system has made a lot of tags on users. If I do not visit Luckin Coffee shop for long, it will automatically send a message to me that you haven't been to my shop for long, and here is the maybe 70% coupon for you. So under these kind of marketing schemes, users go to the shops frequently. And it also has used a lot of some traditional marketing techniques like movie stars endorsement, and it has occupied a lot of social media channels, including WeChat, a lot of TikTok, something, and as well as there are so many stores. If you go to a lot of city centers, you can see the stores. It's also like one of the marketing brand for users. And last year in 2019, it also adds one more product line. Luckin Coffee used to do the coffee, but now it has the tea line. Tea is, as I already said, tea is one of the most consumption for the Chinese market. Although it's very competitive for tea, there are a lot of Hey Tea, Cocoa Tea, Happy Lemon brands, but this brand, the new tea brand, has been considered for another increase chance for Luckin Coffee. It got money, it put the money back to users. So the money actually, as their financial statement says, the cost of one coffee actually is 16 yuan. But the price of the coffee is below 16 yuan. The company is keeping losing money. The reason for the company is to do so is to occupy the more Chinese market share. Once you get the more market, you occupy people's mindset. Luckin Coffee has maybe raised to the top of your mind. The company, the brand will have more chances to earn more money from the users. That's the so-called whole circle. Although once Luckin Coffee sells one cup of coffee, it starts losing. Still, a lot of people and investors believe in its success. Compared with the other Chinese internet brands and companies, let's talk about JD. JD is one of the largest online shopping centers in China, and in 2009, it is said the cost of JD to acquire a consumer is more than 1,600 yuan. So even though Luckin Coffee lose 5 to 15 yuan, it acquires one consumer. That's a very big difference of the cost of acquiring a consumer. So that's why investors think Luckin Coffee is gonna success and win. The more users, the cheaper users get, the more chances you will win. That's the Chinese market's logic. As a normal consumer, actually, I think I get benefits from the Luckin Coffee. Previously, I am not a coffee alcoholic. I go to Starbucks, but I'm not a big fan of Starbucks. After Luckin Coffee, I started to have the habit of drinking coffee every day. I've already told you, actually, it keeps me awake and improves my working efficiency. As a normal consumer, after the fraud revealed by Muddy Water, actually, what happened? A lot of users like me, we went to Luckin Coffee to shop at the next day, and Luckin Coffee could not even make enough coffee at that time. For me, I bought that one cup of coffee and I need to queue for more than half an hour, and half an hour is considered to be the shortest queue at that day, because my friend told me that she has queued for more than 1 hour. We all know Luckin Coffee is very cheap, and I cannot say very cheap. It's quite cheap, and if it shuts down, that you only have the option of Starbucks, then some of the people cannot afford. So let's see how Luckin Coffee is going to react to this whole thing. Although I heard some news that one of the COO is saying that he made all these frauds, but it's so obvious that I don't know. I cannot say anything. Okay, this is the whole topic I have shared with you, and yeah, I know there are a lot of mistakes, and I use a lot of repetitive words like and please forgive me. Thank you for watching, and thanks for the inspiration from two people. One is the YouTube blogger called Jennifer. She is the fashion blogger. Although my industry and her fashion industry is very different, but I have finished watching almost half of her video. I really like it. I want to share. It is also because of her that make me started to think that I can share my video and my thoughts on YouTube as well. The other person is a local Chinese business observer called 蛋姐创业. 蛋姐创业 is one of my favorite social media account, which shares a lot of latest information about the Chinese internet companies as well as some popular companies. Besides, they also offer some deep insight and analysis about the trend or companies. I really like them, and you can also watch them if you understand Chinese. They are one of my aims. Really thank you for those two channels that inspire me to improve myself and start sharing my views on the internet. And really thank you very much for your time for watching the channel, and I really hope I will upload next one. Thank you and bye.